Your host for tonight's show, Mr. Micro Mike. Folks, we have a fire roundtable for you guys tonight. Let's just get straight to the introductions. First, we have the man whose condoms are created by NASA. What up, Doe313 JMO?
What's good, everybody? How you doing out there?
Condoms are created by NASA. Whoa.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, I got to do something differently. Folks, we may have more people coming in, but right now for the introduction, we have the man who fed his mother through the umbilical cord while she was carrying him. What up, Doe?
What up, though, Mike? Lord Jesus.
I had
got me out here on some 300 savagery stuff.
Savage. Man, I am happy to be here tonight, man. JMO, do some roll call, man.
All right, everybody. Man, what's good, everybody, man? We got a lot to talk about today. Make sure you guys like the video. We got James Willis in the building. What up, though? We got Kool-Aid and Cornbread. Like I said, that's my favorite name. We got Adam Bockhart in the building. You can hate me now, McKenzie in the building. What's good, man? What's good? We got Detroit Drew in the building. We got One Proud 40. We got Kyle Webb in the building. Barberry Lions in the building. What up, though? What's good, everybody? We got Below Zero in the building. Fast Star Win. What's good, everybody? Make sure you guys like the video. Let's get it started, man.
Absolutely.
Hold up. Drew got a super chat in the building. Am I your first super chat, Mike? He asked.
Oh man, yes, you are my first super chat.
Yep.
Thank you for de-virginize me when it comes to that money. I truly enjoy it.
De-virginizing you.
I am definitely worth $1.99. That is definitely
right. Yeah. Randy Nathaniel, what up, though? Dark Brown Twin, what up, though? Devin 99, George Morgan, what's good? James Holyfield, what's good, everybody? Let's make sure you like the video, man.
We got a good one here, and I wanted to start this off with a blast because I know this is going to get the emotions going, the blood flowing. And the first question, I'm going to throw it right to Luke G. After the loss to Kansas City Chiefs, we've been hearing from some Lions fans this is the same old Lions. Is this the same old Lions?
Absolutely not. It's not even close to being the same old Lions. I mean, same old Lions would have got blew out by that team. Same old Lions wouldn't have even made Patrick Mahomes look like he was human. Same old Lions wouldn't have even been able to go shot for shot with him. Did they have some miscues? Yes. So did Kansas City. To me, if a fan is saying same old Lions, he probably drunk. And we probably need to, get a drug test out because I don't see how you can say it's the same old Lions. Everything in that game was absolutely different. The fight in them was different. The attack, the game plan was different. The coachability was different. They wanted that win and they wanted it bad. We have not seen that in a lot of recent years. So for me, no way we can sit there and say same old Lions. It's just not possible.
Hey, man, and I just seen that Detroit Drew just dropped me another $9.99. Thank you so much, man. He said that he popped my cherry. It is true. But the cherry is green, and I truly, truly appreciate that. Awesome job by Detroit Drew, part of the DSA. JMO, what do you got, man? We the same old Lions?
I'm gonna just take the high road on this one. No, we're not the same old Lions, guys. Through the toughest part of our schedule, we have only one loss. I know about the ties and the things that went, but we only have one loss through the first 4 games, the toughest part of our schedule. So, and then I'll just look at the team. We're a complete football team, top to bottom. We gonna be a really, really good team. We have an elite secondary, and our secondary makes our whole defense elite. So the Lions are looking really, really good now. We beat Kansas City, but refs and things go and overturns and play calls, when the ref's not on your side. So it's an uphill battle, man. So we just got to be better, and we will be better. And also, considering this last game, we lost a lot of pivotal pieces on defense, and we still played as well as we did. 1 possession game. So I have a lot of faith in this team, and far from the same old Lions, man.
And I wouldn't even, J-Mo, I wouldn't even go as far.
We would be 0-4 with the same old Lions. What y'all talking about?
Right, but I wouldn't even go as far as to say that they're the same old Lions, or to say that the referees cost us the game. As much as I would like to sit there and say that, but I would definitely look at it and say, like you said, the same old Lions would have been 0-4. They don't go on the road against a beat up Eagles team and win. They don't win at home in their first home opener. And they certainly don't tie with that team. You don't believe me? Just look at last year, man. They got beat down by the Jets, even though I think it was some circumstances that went with that. So, yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head when we're talking about this Lions team. It's a lot of things that's different. And many people should acknowledge that difference in this team. I know the media is starting to notice.
You know, when I think of the same old Lions, how is a way that we can prove physically without a shadow of a doubt that it's not the same old Lions? And I thought about this and I thought, man, this one's actually fairly easy. What is the difference between the Lions now and the same old Lions of past is when we would lose a player, the team would be over. You lose a Darius Slay in the past, game done. We have so much depth on this team. With the loss of Slay, with the loss of Diggs, TJ Hawkinson, and they'll still fight, and they still fought, and they still scratched and clawed almost way to a victory against the best team or second best team in the NFL. Having this depth in this team with the ability of Bob Quinn creating this roster just shows you, and it proves to you and myself that this ain't the same old Lions. Same old Lions would have lost that game. Same old Lions would have went back into a cave with the tail between their legs when they lost their starter and say, game's over. But that's not the same old Lions. These guys were fighting, clawing, and doing everything they could to get that W, even though we didn't. But it was still, they fought to the end. Same old Lions don't fight to the end. Same old Lions does not do 60-minute game. That was a 60-minute game. Win, loss, or draw, that was a 60-minute game, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And the best part about it is this. When you go through and you look at this game, you know, this one game reminds me, and I was going to do a video about it, but I'll talk about it here first. This one game reminded me so much of when Matthew Stafford came back in with the dislocated shoulder and threw that ball. You knew at that moment, you had a quarterback. And it was at this moment with this game that you knew that you had a real team. We got to take solace in that. You got to take solace in that. And knowing that if you didn't get that same emotion from that, then you're just the same old Lions fan.
Yeah, and you got to break that.
I just want to say one thing you got to think about the same old Lions, something we don't have. And I know Patricia's a young coach, but the Lions have never really had a coach to depend on. So Patricia's supposed to be this defensive guru. He's supposed to be all special in this area. So I know a lot of Lions fans like, what you going to do against Kansas City? He's like, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So now we have somebody that we can depend on. So for future games and matches, we'd be like, well, we know Patricia going to scheme up defense to shut them down. We don't have to worry about that. And we got the personnel now. And the culture is very, very different. And I really think we would be 1-3, 0-4 if we was the same old Lions.
Same old Lions, when you compete against a Super Bowl team, would not be competing at all. They competed with this team.
Right. Stafford would have threw 52 passes for 400 yards. And 3 touchdowns, and we would have lost by 30. Like, that's what would have happened.
That would have been the same old Lions, just putting up yardage at the end when the defense is doing just prevent defense to kill time. Not what took place on Sunday, in my opinion. Now, is there a specific player that stood out to you on Sunday that either good or bad that made you go, huh? J-Mo, is there any specific player you've seen, offense or defense?
You talking about overall or just
overall?
Well, overall, the 2 cornerbacks, man. And TJ Hawkinson, I expected him to be what he is, so I'm not really surprised about that. But I would have to say our defensive backs, and I'm talking about Justin Coleman, Rashawn Melvin, Tracy Walker too. I picked Tracy Walker as the breakout player. I said he was going to the Pro Bowl, but he looks very good. But Justin Coleman and Rashawn Melvin, these guys aren't just like good; they're playing amazing. I can say my defense, my secondary is elite with confidence because of these guys, and everyone is filling in. But on offense, I will say the offensive line as a whole, Frank Ragnow has been a monster at center, as we all predicted, you know. And Danny Amendola has actually been very, very reliable. I definitely think we missed him in that game. It's just some of the times that we would need his kind of plays. It just wasn't nobody there. Marvin Hall made that one big catch on the sideline, but if we go on offensive defense, I would go with those.
That's some good picks, man. I definitely like the dynamic duo of Coleman and Melvin in that game. Luke G, what about you, man? What players stood out? What players stood out, offense or defense?
For me, offense, the player that stood out to me was Matthew Stafford. I asked for him to clean up a lot of those inerrant passes, and he did. He had a few miscues, but for the most part, he was lights out, man. He was lights out, and you saw it when he was trying to take command of his team, and I'm like, you doing all this hobble. Like he wasn't running the same. It was just a whole difference, in my opinion, that I saw. So for me, Stafford was one of them. On the defensive side of the ball, I can't believe I'm saying this because we got snacks, but A'Shaun Robertson. And I hate it because he's doing this in the contract year. He's showing out in a contract year. Like, where was this at before all these other people around? He's a complimentary defensive tackle. But A'Shaun Robertson had another good game this past Sunday where I was noticing that he was doing things that went in our favor, like turn all those dive plays around. I think they tried to run up the middle at least 5 or 6 times, and they probably only got a yard or half a yard because he was turning it around. And he was doing a very good job of pushing the pocket on passing downs. So those two guys really stood out to me. I can't just pick one cornerback because I thought that whole secondary showed up and showed out. I just couldn't believe it. So
yeah, Will Harris was great, man.
That whole secondary play. If you would have told me that no Darius Slay, no Quandre Diggs, and that we was going to be out there punching balls out and not let the quarterback throw for a touchdown, I'd have called BS. Now, the only big mental error that they had for me, in my opinion, was when 2 guys took the running back out the backfield. That was it. Outside of that, they was pretty solid.
Folks, we have a new member joining us for the round table. This is the man who the day when he left to college, he told his father, "You are now the man of the house." What up, though, Detroit Drew?
I'm going to get with you guys on a little spoiler. I didn't go to college, but...
What's going on,
What up,
Detroit
man?
Drew, man? Folks, we got Detroit Drew here. I am now not a virgin when it comes to Super Chat, thanks to him. I
You're
truly
welcome.
appreciate it, man. It was a little rough in the beginning, but it's starting to smooth out.
Yeah, that sounds about
Start to
right.
smooth out, huh? I see what you did there, Mike.
Not the first time I've heard that, but all right, I'll take it.
Detroit Drew, what stood out to you on Sunday for a player, whether it be offense or defense, good or bad? What player stood out to you?
Matthew Stafford. Anytime your leader goes out there hurt and plays as well as he did, it's a good sign. I was expecting a huge game from Stafford regardless, but he went out there with a bruised hip or whatever the injury was with his hip and outplayed an MVP in Patrick Mahomes and was just a few seconds away from winning that game. Matthew Stafford played probably his best game of his career. I was so happy for Stafford. I once I heard that he was hurt, I was not even expecting them to have 200 yards, and he proved me wrong. So I was so happy with his performance.
Man, I'm with you, man. I think the clinching play for me is when he ran into that defender, knocked him down, and then got in his face. I loved it. I loved it, man. That shows true grit. A guy that will get in a defender's face, knock him down, and said, "No, it ain't happening." I loved it, man. He definitely showed his grit like he always does. Years and years he's played through injuries. We know the type of player he is. He is, man, when it comes to injuries, he can deal with them. He can deal with them just like anyone else. Absolutely love it. And yeah, A'Shaun Robinson, when it comes to the defensive line, man, this guy has been balling, man. He is creating havoc. He's knocking those balls down. He's looking to be the best defensive tackle on the team right now. He's outperforming everybody. And his beard is getting it done, man. I love it. I love what I'm seeing. But just like Luke G says, I don't know if that has something to do with his contract year or what. But his play is definitely.
I don't know. It might not be that. It's just development because he's still a really young player. He been getting better every year.
He's looking way better this year than last, though. You gotta admit that.
He improved every year though with A'Shaun Robinson. Even if it was a small improvement, he was better than the year before. So this is just he's breaking out.
Well, let me jump to the next question. Are the Lions getting better from week to week? We're starting to see a progression from players. But Luke G, do you see the Lions getting better from each week? Something that you want to see from a team specifically in the beginning of a season as they march towards a playoff run?
Man, listen, that's what made me say this is not the same old Lions. I mean, you literally see the progression. You go to yourself and you say, okay, yeah, you tied, but the one thing that I realized was they're coming out a little bit better than they was in the first game. Offense didn't come out so hot. Second game, you came out did okay. Third game, you came out ready to roll. The fourth game, you was in rare form, and it's just constantly getting better and better and better. And what I'm starting to notice is that not only do they buy into the system, I'm noticing that they are attacking it as if though we got to win for our coach. We got to play for our coach. And I'm telling you, when I watch this team, they look way more prepared. They look way more improved in technique. And they're doing a lot of those small things. I mean, just look at the special teams. I went from destroying the special teams for the first 2 or 3 weeks to saying, damn, y'all finally getting better and better. Getting the kick return from Jamal Agnew, and y'all actually hold a block. Getting less and less penalties. And then you getting turnovers opening kickoff in the second half against this team. This team right here has shown so much grit in their development to be able to get better. It's hard for me not to say that I see that they're improving.
Absolutely, man. And watching the special teams, how well they've been doing from week to week is a great testament to the coaching. Detroit Drew, from what you have seen from week 1 to week 4, do you believe that this team is getting better? Mm-hmm.
And it's not even close. They're a completely different team than what they were at week 1. In just 1 month, this team has made a complete 360 and has bought in. You know, I thought that game against Arizona was very crucial because once we tied, that could have been season ending right there. A lot of people would have given up on Matt Patricia. But you know what? This team has rallied together, and guess what? We have gotten better every week, and that's something we don't hear with the Lions. It usually seems like we get off to these great starts when we make postseason runs, and always time to get better or worse somehow than better. It's a complete 360. This is like go back to the topic number 1. This is not the same old Lions. The same old Lions aren't going to be 2-1-1. They might be 1-3. To show improvement under Patricia shows that they have bought in, and it's incredible to watch. I cannot wait to see what this team's going to do against Green Bay because they are ready for them.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that game as well. I know we need the bye week to rest up, but I'm ready for them to dominate Green Bay. 313 JMO, do you believe that the Lions have gotten better from week 1 till now?
Well, I've been saying it before today. I said it last week. We getting better every week, and I said it the week before that we was getting better every week. And like I said back then, I say the same thing. When a coach is always preaching, we're just trying to get better every week, and we're just trying to get better every week, and you actually start to do it, it makes you believe, it makes the players believe, and then it shows up on the football field. I mean, our first 2 weeks, our special teams looked like we was a 2-14 team. How bad they was looking. So, and then after 2 weeks, completely fixed. Offense got better every week. Defense got better every week. It's like the bigger the challenge for the defense, the better they play. And, I got a lot of confidence in the defense and Matt Patricia and his schemes, man. I trust him a lot now when it comes to shutting down the opposing players' QB because we have the personnel. We have all the personnel and all the tools that he wants. And you can just see it in every performance because if we play how we played against the Chargers, against the Eagles, we don't win that game. We had to step it up a little bit on offense and defense and just create turnovers. And we don't have the game with Kansas City. We play like we did the previous week. So last week against Kansas City was our most complete game, and we looked like a complete football team from top to bottom. We didn't look like it the first couple weeks, but now we definitely starting to look like it.
I mean, and we need to start another trend. Like getting those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get those likes up. We got 71 in the chat. People are coming in and out. We got 42 likes, 1 thumbs down. Let's get those likes up, people, because this is going to be the best way for us to destroy all those mainstream medias. Because I saw a bunch of them who still don't want to give the Lions no props. And I saw a bunch of them who was trying to talk good about the Lions, but they made it about everything else than the Lions.
Right.
So make sure you get those likes up so we can get this video in circulation and we can start to take it to those legacy media people who don't want to do their homework and just want to be lazy and keep pumping out the same old stories.
Also, I want to give a big shout out to Chat Sports. They gave your boy a shout out, Mr. Micro Mike. They love my name. They were making a lot of jokes about it. Huge shout out to those guys for answering my questions and giving me a shout out. So the next question, man, we got a lot of injuries we sustained over the course of this season so far, specifically last game. How important is it that now we got a bye week right after all these injuries and to heal up? Detroit Drew, how important is this bye week to happen right now?
It came at the right time, and that's the problem with bye weeks. Is it never really seems to come at the right time. And I know that we were talking about when the schedule released that, man, we got another early bye week that is going to suck. But for us, it came at the perfect time and the perfect opportunity for this team to rest up and get better. So after reviewing what we said about that, I'm glad it's here because we desperately need it.
Absolutely, man.
Facts.
Absolutely. Luke G, man, anything to add with that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll be the first to tell you I don't like early bye weeks, but given the fact that we had to deal with those early on injuries, you talking about giving us a week to rest, and then we don't play until Monday. You talking about we should have Slay back, we should have Hand back, we should have Hawkinson back. We should be back to full strength, hopefully, by the time that Monday night game come around, because this bye week is so early. So I think that helps. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the teams in our division because let's face it, Dallas just got embarrassed by the New Orleans Saints. They're going to come out and try to smack Green Bay in the mouth this upcoming Sunday. So that's one part of it.
And what's, I was frustrated when the schedule came out because the bye week was early, but now looking at it with all the injuries sustained, it was literally at the perfect time. We get to rest up. Green Bay is now got to go fight on the road against Dallas. They're banged up. We're going to rest up and have our players ready to beat them down, in my opinion, on Monday night. J-Mo, what do you think, man? Do you think it's the perfect timing?
I definitely do because of one player, Matthew Stafford. Like, Stafford was doing fine, and apparently, these back issues, I don't even want to get into it deeply, but we definitely need him to rest up as much as possible. I mean, you can't really control when your back wants to flare up, but as long as he's not, taking constant contact for, 2 full weeks, that's really, really good considering that. We got to have him healthy. And I know we'll have everyone else back. I don't know about Mike Daniels, but I think he's going to force himself to play in the game, period. But, and the one thing about the early bye week that I did say, even though I didn't like the early bye week, is it gave me 100% confidence we was beating Green Bay. Said it before the season. You give Matt Patricia 2 weeks to prepare for Green Bay, and y'all supposed to think we're going to lose. And that's what I thought about since the beginning of the season. And considering what our secondary looked like and those Packers receivers, they're not going to be able to do it. It's going to get real, real bad for the Packers on national television. So it gives me a lot of confidence in that area and winning games and building. And I also think the offense needs a little bit more work and a little bit more continuity. And this is the perfect time for every phase of our team to retool and get better. That's why I love this early bye week, because I think the offense I think we're going to play a more complete game versus Green Bay.
And that's why I love 313 JMO, because he explained that out perfectly. I don't even need to add anything to it. That was definitely a fire talk about the bye week and the importance of it. Now we are done with a quarter of the season, the first quarter of the season. And I would like to talk about grades when it comes to some of the coaches and some of the staff with the Lions. Detroit Drew, since the first quarter is done, what grade and what's your evaluation so far of Darrell Bevell?
I'm going to go ahead and give him a B. And I think he's going to get upgraded to an A the next 3 quarters of the season here. Because the thing that you guys have to realize in the chat is we have an entire new offense. And it takes time. You can't just get the chemistry down right away. It's going to take time for Matthew Stafford to get accustomed to the new receiving routes. Danny Amendola, when he played his last game, they missed on a pass because he wasn't knowing or willing to know what Amendola was going to do yet. It comes with time. The longer he's here, the better it's going to be. The more he's going to have trust in Stafford. They're going to click on the same page. So right now, I think all in all, he's done a good job. I would have loved the Lions to run the ball a little bit better over these first 4 games. But against Kansas City, I know Kansas City doesn't have a very good defense, but it's a good sight to see that we're still dedicated to it. And I think as the season goes on, Bevel's going to have a lot more trick plays to help open it up and really keep the defense guessing. But for him, I'm going to give him a B so far.
That to me, that's a fairly good grade when it comes to Darrell Bevel, given the fact that he's new, he's training all these people his new scheme, and so far the results has kind of reflected that. JMO, is there a specific coach? I want to talk about the defensive coach, Pascaloni and or Patricia, since they both run the defense. How do you believe they have done with this defense for the first quarter of the season?
Well, Matt Pascaloni has done very, very well. Cause I don't know who the coordinator is, because everyone swear Pascaloni be calling plays, but we all know it's Matt Patricia's play. So it's just
Right.
I'm just gonna start calling him Matt Pascaloni. So Matt Pascaloni, considering the fact that our defensive line, didn't get any continuity, I'm not going to blame that on them. That was more the players. I think I would give them like an A-, something like that, because that Arizona game, they put Agnew out there. He didn't do too well, and Fitzgerald had some big passes. But other than that, I'll give them an A- because the defense is, in my opinion, kind of the only reason we got any wins right now. If Stafford was playing bad, we'd be 0-4. But I mean, they won both of those games for us, the Chargers game and the Eagles game. So our defense has been the strength of this team, as I said it would be before the season, and it is. And they're playing up to the strength. I mean, the offense was great last week too. So, but the defense was outstanding considering going against Kansas City like that and manning them up. They play on turf, so the fastest receivers in the league are even faster, and it still don't matter. Didn't have Darius Slay, no Quandre Diggs. You got rookie Will Harris out there, Mike Ford, who don't get a lot of time out there. So we still play well. So I think I give him an A-.
Man, I truly do like that grade, and given the fact of a lot of the players going down, specifically the last game, and like Deshaun Hand, and given the fact that a lot of these guys didn't train during training camp when it comes to defensive line, what he had to deal with, he did a great job. Absolutely did. Luke, I'm going to throw you Mr. Matt Patricia, the head coach. How do you evaluate him through the first quarter of the regular season here?
C+. I know people are going to hear the word C and panic, but the difference between a C+ and a B- is not much. So C+, I still think he has to work on the clock management. He got to get that part down pat. And I think he still needs to be able to get those guys in situational football more prepared. We can't have two dudes running with a running back out of the backfield on 4th and 8. We just can't have it. Somebody needed to know and pay attention to the quarterback on 4th and 8. We didn't have that. So those little things, and again, mind you, we're talking about all four of the first 4 games. In the first game, I thought he took his foot off the gas. So his grade dropped because of that. He did the same thing again before halftime against the Chargers. And then, against the Eagles, he wanted to, but they stay with it. So for me, C+, is he getting better? Yes, he's getting better. But I'm expecting him to be better on clock management, and I'm expecting him to be better in situational football where he's telling his guys, hey, look out for this, be ready for this. I mean, overall, under him, they are improving, but we have to still be able to look at it from the standpoint that he needs more work to be done before I can give him a little bit of a higher grade.
Hey, and I totally get that. He made some errors in the first couple of games. Even if we won them, I still believe he made some clock management errors, and I do believe he's getting better. But that is a good grade for the first quarter for him. I would like to do a grade on Bob Quinn himself. I think this is imperative. From what we've seen so far in this offseason with him picking up these free agents, like Trey Flowers, as well as Coleman and Jesse James. I feel like Flowers is doing okay, but I feel like he's not doing enough. I think it will get better. But from when it comes to Bob Quinn overall, I'm going to give him a B plus. And the reason I'm going to give him a B plus is not just for these big free agents. I'm talking about the depth that he placed all around on this team, and it really, really showed on Sunday. We lost a lot of key players. You're talking Diggs. You're talking TJ Hawkinson. You're talking Darius Slay didn't play. Hand didn't play. These guys, if when you have starters like that leave a defense and you're still holding a elite offense to 27 points was the offense was scoring, that's an insane, fantastic job. And without Bob Quinn finding these players to throw in this team, it could have been a totally different story. Depth is key. We've talked about it all off season. In my opinion, depth is the most underrated position when it comes to building a roster. And it fulfills a roster. When you look around the NFC North, you see that the Lions may have the complete team. In my opinion, it is the complete team, not just with the starters and the quarterback, not just with the offensive line, but we're talking about the people who plays in for a backup role. We're talking about players that play in a special teams role. And he seemed to really done a fantastic job filling those holes and doing exactly what it takes to bring this team to the next level. Now, Luke G, before I get into the next subject, can you do likes for me?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we got 75 people in the chat, 54 likes, 1 dislike. That's only 55. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. We can do better than that. Let's get us closer to 100%. We want to make sure that this thing is getting this constant, what's the word I want to use? Rotation. When people go to search, this should be the first video to pop up, and that's done by you putting that like button up there. And if you have already did that, make sure you give me a like in the chat. Let me know you still with us. Now, I want to add something to what you said, because I think it's something that we questioned after week 1 and week 2 of the season, and that's this word depth. And I can't tell you how many people came in here and was like, we don't have no depth. We don't have none. And I'm like, it takes time. It takes time. And they showed it. They showed it on Sunday that we got more depth than you think. For those who put that like button up, appreciate it. It's 77 in the chat. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
I think Bob Quinn deserves a lot of credit for that, because it don't happen in 1 year. First, he had to go and build a whole offensive line, who a lot of people doubted early, including us. And even in the preseason, people were crying about our depth. I'm like, it's the preseason, y'all. Not a real game.
Yeah, that preseason thing was ridiculous.
I mean, it took him a year. He had to build the offensive line. Then he had to go out and get some linebackers. And then he had to go get some skill players. So it takes a while. And now that we have all those things and the right coach and Stafford playing with, a much better OC, we seeing results.
And interestingly enough, Top Tier brings up a great comment here, and I didn't even know who that guy was, the Marvin Hall, and he made a lot of.
Hey man, it don't matter who he is, bro. Stafford gonna turn him into a stupid superstar. You know how Stafford do, bro.
I can tell you this much, and Top Tier brings up something that I was going to talk about in one of my podcasts that I was going to drop, which was if Marvin Hall have another game like that, we may not be seeing too much of Danny Amendola. Because not only was he doing some of the similar things in terms of getting down the field, but he was getting down the field with a little bit more speed and still making some tough catches. So that was really interesting, in my opinion, to see that. So shout out to him for stepping up big when his name was called, because we had just picked him up, I want to say maybe a couple of days to a week ago from the Falcons.
And then he turns around and become a big factor for us, making those big plays. And I know his last name has Junior on the back of his jersey. I'm going to go ahead and say make sure that every player has a junior in the back of there, Stafford Jr., Micro Mike Jr., because when you have the junior back there, it seems to be really elevating these players to the next level. Now, I believe all of us here had the Lions winning the NFC North. Through 4 games, through the first quarter, J-Mo, do you still have the Lions winning the NFC North?
Man, I have us winning the NFC North outright. I'm getting real confident now. The only thing I need to do is just pray for the health of Mr. Trubisky. We all hope you come back. We all hope you're all right. We all hope to see you in a few weeks. I hope everything is great for you, because as long as the Bears are, I'm non-concerned. But other than that, I don't fear any of these teams. None of these teams are complete teams. I kept telling people, Packers defense is overrated. Packers defense is overrated. They've been playing trash quarterback. The moment they play a good quarterback with a good receiving core, they get cooked through the pass and the run, looking like complete scrubs, as always. Like I said, it takes time. The Packers haven't had enough time to build their defense yet. They need, a couple more years. Like a couple years, they will be better, but not now. Plus, you lost Dom Capers too, so I think that plays into a factor. Minnesota, oh my goodness.
Woo.
Whenever a big game comes, Kirk Cousins turned and he disappears, man. He turned to a college quarterback. I did not know he could play this bad. With this kind of talent around him, man, I'm not going to rag on him for getting destroyed by the Bears because his O-line did not show up. That happens, but besides when he has had protection, he just looks so bad. So I don't really have faith in any of these other teams, and it's a lot of surprises for me. But these teams are looking. I see more weaknesses in these teams than strengths, and we have more strengths. Our defense is the second best defense in the division, best offense in the division. Special teams is second in the division, maybe third. Who cares? And then our coaching, measures up to everybody except for the dude in Minnesota. So.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. And you made up a great point about Kirk Cousins. I don't know what the hell is going on with this guy. He's from Holland, Michigan, man. He's making me look bad.
Man, made no sense, man. That's what happened when you trust in a Spartan. You trust in a Wolverine. He the greatest quarterback ever. You trust in a Spartan, Kirk Cousins.
Man, it's crazy, man. He literally, his parents just live a couple miles from my house. He's a big time local hero here, and I always wish him personally the best. And I hate seeing him just absolutely. I don't know what's going on. I didn't expect him to be this absolute garbage. Luke G, do you still have us winning the NFC North? Yeah, man. Hey, you want to know what, Kirk Cousins? If you're listening, I still love you, man. I still love you. You are a Holland guy. Luke G, man, you still got us winning the North?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I got to win in the North. And I think that has been touched on a number of different things. I mean, let's go through. I'm going to do the same thing J-Mo did. Let's start off with the Chicago Bears. They don't got no offense. I mean, they're winning games from the other team being unable to score. They're not going to do that to us. Every team that they won a game against that couldn't score, go and look at what happened in those games. Those teams did not use the tight end. Oh, we going to use our tight end. Oh, we going to be using our tight end. Those teams couldn't change the pace with the running back. The Minnesota Vikings couldn't change the pace with the running back. We can change the pace with our running back. We can, one moment it be Ty, next moment it be JD. Next moment you might see Jamal Agnew back there. They going to find a way to mix it up. When I go through the Green Bay Packers, all I kept hearing after week one is we got ourselves a defense. That's what A-Rod was saying. It showed evaporated real fast when y'all went against a team who was willing to put some points on the board like the Eagles. Who we beat? Who we beat? Going down to the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, they got pretty decent defense, but you shut they run down. They dead in the water because why? They not getting any play from their tight ends.
They're not getting play for anyone on offense over there, and their wide receivers getting really frustrated about it.
And it's the worst part about it. When you look up and you got your head coach criticizing you, saying sometimes you gotta just unload, and then you got one of your top receivers talking about if we can't run the ball, we gotta still throw it. I try to explain it to people all the time. That's the one thing that set Stafford aside from a lot of these other people. Go look at Dak Prescott. Go look at him in that game against New Orleans. Zeke had 18 carries, 35 yards. That was Dak Prescott to show up and show out. They mustered 10 points.
Absolutely.
That's not going. Would you imagine Stafford putting up 10 points with that O-line, bro?
With that O-line.
And that's just, it's incredibly horrible by his part for that to happen.
Well, the thing is, top-tier quarterbacks, and I'll give Aaron Rodgers this credit too, you make players focus on you more so other players have more space. So Stafford will be playing well, so you focus less on the running back. You're dropping people back out in coverage to cover. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. When you have a quarterback holding back, your running back on top of that, that's not a recipe for success.
And when I think about the winning the NFC North, first off, I want to pat our own back of the DSA because we put our reputation on the line this offseason, going against the grain of what the legacy media and what everybody in the whole United States media has been saying the Lions are going to be garbage. It's the same old Lions type stuff, giving us really absolutely bad records. And what we said is what Bob Quinn was building. He was building a team, not just when it comes to players, but schematically, as well as learning to win and to finish games. That's why he brought in all these players. And I believe the Lions are the most complete team. We talked about 2011 when their offense was hot. However, their defense sucks. When we go with Sue against the Cowboys, we had 11-win season with Caldwell. Our defense was great. Our offense was terrible. What is one thing that you must do to win, and specifically win your division? All three phases has got to be good. It doesn't have to be elite. It doesn't have to be the absolute best, but you got to be able to be balanced in all three phases. The Lions offense is good. The Lions defense is real good. The special teams is now starting to show, okay, they struggled early on, but they're getting a lot better. And when you look at the rest of the division, you look at the Green Bay Packers. Everyone said that their defense was great. And, they're going to come out and win it for them. What'd we say? I think they're overrated. We've been saying this the whole offseason. I've been saying Aaron Rodgers is took a little step back from what he used to be, elite Rodgers. I did not feel they put enough players on defense to really consume and eat up teams. And we've seen that. They finally went against a team that we beat, the Eagles, at their house. They lost to them, and now they got to go to Dallas. Our schedule is getting easier. We went through the tough part. So I believe we're definitely better than the Green Bay Packers because they're imbalanced when it comes to being good on three phases. Do we really have to talk about the Minnesota Vikings? They're good on defense, but what in the hell is up with that offense? It is absolutely If they don't have Cook on there, they're going nowhere. I don't know what's going on with Cousins, but absolutely, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere in offense. Thus, it's imbalanced. Then we go to the Chicago Bears. Yes, they have an absolutely insane defense, and defense definitely can take you places. But on the flip side, their offense is absolutely bad. Trubisky gets hurt, and now they're up to their second-string quarterback. And who knows? Maybe he ends up being better than Trubisky because Trubisky was playing bad. So when you look at three phases, the Lions, in my opinion, and has the best of all three phases. And interestingly enough, the same people that everyone said the Lions are going to go 3-13 or 0-12, all these horrible records. I listened today. You hear this? I think the Lions, they could win the NFC North. You're seeing a lot of that. You're hearing a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Huh. And that backpedal real.
That's backpedal real. You're paddling. You're rowing a boat without a paddle right there, without a paddle, man. And in my opinion, the Lions do have the best shot still. We got much easier schedule. We got division games to really bring it up a notch. And it's looking good. It is absolutely good. And when it comes to, though, the bye week and what we've seen through injuries, we need these players, though, to play out throughout the season. JMO, for us to win the NFC North, do you believe the players that are injured like Hand and the rest of the guys are going to start to get healthy and they finally can be utilized to make this team even better than what it was?
Yes. And that's why I'm so impressed with the first quarter because we literally got better each week. Our competition got harder each week, and we played better as our competition got harder. So that's telling me, like I'll say it again, we going to beat the living crap out of the Packers on national TV. Everybody gonna watch it and they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, it's gonna be real bad because I don't trust the Packers at all. So after that, we're gonna play Vikings. It'll be a tougher game, but we'll beat the Vikings. And then we got a very easy schedule. And you add Deshaun Hand, Mike Daniels, Austin Bryant later on. Woo. You add, man, because we need his pass rush. I don't care if he could cover anybody. I know he can help us with the pass rush.
JMO, are you concerned about any of the injuries to the players? Do you think there's some that will be long?
I'm not concerned. I think we're going to have everybody back after the bye.
Man, I hope so.
The only person that might not be back is Mike Daniels. But other
I think he will be back. I think he's
going to force himself to play, but I don't think he's going to be healthy. But I think a lot of Packers fans telling me they miss Mike Daniels. He's the reason why they don't got no run defense. I'm like, oh, really? Thanks for telling me that.
Hey, they're not going to want to miss him come the next game we play him because he's going to be meeting Aaron Rodgers a lot.
Man, so yeah, I'm not really worried about our injuries because we've been getting healthy and we survived without having Jared Davis for 2 weeks. So we lost without Slade, but And Quandre Diggs, I think he'll be back too. So bye week,
Mm-hmm.
it comes when the bye week comes when your players get hurt and you still got players recovering like this. It's the best thing for the team.
Absolutely. Luke G, man, what do you got?
Well, first thing that I got is a whole lot of energy to let these people know that we appreciate y'all for rocking with us, for coming on here and being with us. We got 80 people in the chat, but we only got 66 likes and 1 thumbs down. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen, so we can go ahead and push this video forward so that this thing spreads like a wildfire, because I can assure you, like that wildfire that's spreading, the attention that the Detroit Lions is getting is also spreading. So be a part of that movement by getting those likes up and getting us in a position for us to get to more and more Lions fans. When y'all go on some of these other videos and y'all see those comment sections and they talking crazy, y'all need to start directing them to the DSA. Y'all got to start telling those people, listen, you want to hear some real Lions football talk? Go over here to the DSA. You want to hear Piston talk? Go over here to the DSA. And you do that by getting those likes up, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all don't understand how important this is to us, because it creates a community for us all to be able to come here and talk about our team.
Absolutely. And if you've not subscribed to JMO, make sure you do so. We need to get this guy to 1,000. He brings fabulous content. He understands the game and takes a different view. He is engulfed in the game. So if you're watching live right now, make sure you subscribe. If you're not watching live and you hear this later, subscribe to 313 JMO, as well as Luke G, the field general himself. Played the game. He understands. He gets great commentators to join him, like JT O'Sullivan, former Lions quarterback. And this is what we bring as part of the DSA. Also, if you ain't subscribed to me, y'all crazy, man. Hashtag I'm a cool guy. So make sure you do so. Also, the Pick'em League. Don't forget your picks just in a couple days, man. Just in a couple days. So, man, with the first quarter of the season done, I want to say, Luke G, who is your player that is MVP of this team so far?
Sean Robertson. I can't even believe I'm saying that. His play is stellar.
It's like you was waiting for us to question you.
No, I mean,
you was waiting on us to be like, what?
When I realized it, I was like, yo, like he would be the most improved, and he would be the MVP. The things that he's doing are so small that people don't even know it. They don't even realize it. The way he's pushing the pocket. I remember saying this before, and I got chewed out. I said sacks are overrated. I said collapsing the pocket and putting pressure is more effective. I said, yeah, sacks getting them down, that's cool. It's not consistent as you making them uncomfortable in the pocket, okay? And he is pushing the pocket. He is playing a run. It is crazy. His heads up play
double teams.
He's beating double teams. The heads up play on the fumble. This dude, I mean, and he forced the fumble. Listen, it's hard for me to overlook what this man has did. I mean, I can go through and look at it, but if we're talking about all 4 games, it's got to be Sean Robertson.
I love that pick, man. Definitely. He's definitely improved. JMO, for you, who is the team MVP through 4 games?
Oh man, this is tough because I got 2 players in mind. I'm trying to decide which one.
Do them both.
You want me to do them both?
Do them both.
Okay, I was gonna go Matthew Stafford and Rashawn Melvin, because Rashawn Melvin has literally the last 3 games been lights out. I mean, I wanted Slay to eliminate Sammy Watkins. Rashawn Melvin was like, "Who's Darius Slay? I don't know who he is. Let me eliminate Sammy Watkins." Didn't see him but 1 catch. I ain't see Sammy Watkins no more. He didn't exist. And then Justin Coleman treating him, like a little kid on the playground. So, and Rashawn Melvin has been great. I've always said this, and I kept saying it. I told Lions fans last year, I was like, if Nevin Lawson is still on this team, we're not going to be a good team. And I know you telling me there's no way one player could be the difference between you winning and losing. Sometimes it's just that simple, because in a lot of these swing games, like the last games we've had, they'll always throw to Nevin Lawson. And what will he do? Always give up the catch or PI. And now these guys are throwing to Rashawn Melvin in those moments. He get pass breakups. He got great pass defense. And he shut down a lot of people. And he's just been going quietly. And he's been doing this injured the whole time. And Matthew Stafford, even though his 2 best games we didn't win, which very, very irks me. In the other two games, now he did have 2 turnovers, but in the other 2 games, he didn't get in the Lions' way or he didn't prevent us from winning the game. He had his, little four-quarter drive in either game or whatever. So he didn't keep us from winning the game. And sometimes that's what you need, a game manager. He game managed those 2 games and we won them. So the other times, the defense had the lead. He gave the defense the lead, and the defense let the players score, and that ended up to a tie and a loss. So it is what it is. But I think those 2 players are definitely the MVPs.
Man, I agree, man. I love Rashawn Melvin. What he has done, being a guy that no one assumed anything he'd be lights out right now, and he is. My MVP is going to be Coach Patricia. I just feel like his schematics he done against great teams such as Kansas City and New England is something that we have not had in so long. So long we had Caldwell where you can beat the easy teams, but there's no chance you're going to beat the good teams. They outcoach. Right now, Patricia is using his brain to outcoach the big time coaches like Andy Reid and as well as any person that we play at any place, whether it be at Philadelphia, whether it be at Ford Field, wherever they go. I just feel like he is bringing a different dimension to this team. We only have one head coach. I feel like if Patricia was not head coach right now, we went through so many coaches that just cannot beat the good teams that my assumption would be if he was taken off this team, we definitely don't have a chance against Kansas City. We definitely don't have a chance in winning the NFC North. But what he has done in putting players, specific players, they use what they're good at, and that's where he puts them. Last week, we played man the whole time against Kansas City Chiefs. We played man against that team, and look what it did. We nearly beat them, and I can guarantee you a lot of other teams in the NFL that play Kansas City are going to take a look at what Matt Patricia did and start utilizing his ideas because it worked against Kansas City, which no one could stop. No one can slow down. That was Coach Patricia.
It was so funny when I told Kansas City fans that we was going to play man. They were like basically laughing. Like, y'all going to play man on us? We going to burn y'all. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like that little Waka Flocka gif. Okay. GIF. I'm like, okay. Like we play man and it's some stat, advanced stat where no receivers get open against the Lions. We keep the most receivers in the league from getting open. We're number one at keeping receivers from getting open. I'm like, all right, we're going to see what happens. And it worked, but I don't think other teams are gonna copy it like that because they don't have the personnel. The Patriots can do it, Buffalo Bills could do it. You need the secondary. Maybe the Bears could do it. You need the secondary that can cover these guys. Like our secondary isn't, something that's common.
Well, I think why people were so panicked about the Lions and this idea of the man coverage is when other teams played man on them, they torched them. And like Deion Sanders said, they can try, but they don't have the personnel the Lions have. And the thing that stands out to me the most about what that team has done in playing man against the Kansas City Chiefs and been playing man majority of the year, I don't see too many plays where they getting burnt. That's the crazy part.
Facts,
I'm not seeing too many plays where they getting burnt. And there was 3 times in the game that I remember significantly. And I think I was talking to Mike and I said that play I just saw where the entire receiving core got jammed at the line of scrimmage and they all happened in sync to where that receiving core couldn't go nowhere was beautiful. And Mahomes ended up having to throw the ball deep and out because guess what? At the end of the day, it was just too good of a coverage. His passes,
no matter what quarterback you are, no matter what QB you are, you need your receivers to be open in order to throw the ball. They wasn't open.
Nope.
Yeah, man. And Pat Mahomes, he did miss a couple throws, but this guy is the reigning MVP, and he's been doing it all year long, and he looked rattled. Patricia got him rattled, and that's why he was off. They just didn't expect what Patricia brought. They had no idea how they did it. They didn't expect man the whole time, and they did play man, I think, on every single defensive snap. And that just shows you how Matt Patricia utilizes his players that he has in positions to succeed, and he did it. He did it well.
Well, can I buffed up? Now I let you do your thing, but buffed up. Let me try my best to do this, okay? You telling me that you didn't see no good in that? I mean, I know it's a loss, but anybody who knows football and saw that football game know that there was a lot of good in that game. So, excuse me. So, if you want to come out and you want to say, at the end of the day, they still lost, Buff. Let me ask you this, Buff. You telling me you ain't never had a moment where you knew you was better than your performance and you should have been like, you ain't never been with a female and it just was a little too soon for close for comfort? That ain't never happened, bro. Let's stop playing with this stuff. We're not gonna act like there was no good that can come from that game. I get what you're saying. Yes, they lost. It's about wins and losses. Yes, they lost. But let's be honest. Who gave them a chance to win? If it wasn't one of, really, it was me. It was me, and I think J-Mo gave him a chance to win. But who was giving them a chance to win? Most people were picking them to lose that game and get blown out. Get blown out. There's a whole nother YouTube channel where he said if anybody picked the Lions to win, they need to be drug tested because they're going to get blew out 45 to like 3.
Mm-hmm. And that's facts. That's absolute facts. And look, we played well. Let's not confuse it. What this game reminded me of, and I have been hearing this, well, the Lions didn't get the W. The Lions didn't get a W. Let me do a comparison. This is not the same teams, but this is what it reminded me of. I think it was 2008 or 2009 when the Patriots went 16-0. Remember that game in the regular season where they played the Giants? The Giants lost, but it was a different type of loss. I mean, they were giving them hell. It was something like, okay, I can't wait to see you in the Super Bowl. And what happened? They beat them in the Super Bowl. So just because we have lost, it doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. Right. They did a lot of good things.
Oh, and just to tell you, I got Kansas City fans like, please don't make the Super Bowl, Lions. We don't want no smoke. And y'all don't. You don't want zero problems because if we fully healthy, we going to beat them.
Yeah, I think we could. And if we play them in the Super Bowl, I will die. Literally, I will have a heart attack due to the cardiac arrest from the Cats. But yeah, man, it was there's a lot of positives out of there. Obviously, there's negatives, just like in every game. Even if you win, there's things you can learn from. When it comes to this year, though, Luke G, what player has really, when I say progressed, they made more expectations than what they did this year? You had no idea that they're going to come out and do well. You just thought they're okay, but they're really, really impressing a player that you had no idea of.
Well, I had an idea of him. I didn't think that he was going to be playing this well, and that's Rashawn Melvin. I listen. I told y'all follow the money and answer a lot of questions. I went by Rashawn Melvin last season with the Raiders, where they played a lot of zone coverage, and he got torched. He did, and I had Detroit's own Big Will, who kept hitting me up saying, don't look at that tape. Go back a little bit further and look at his games with the Colts. And I'm like, why I got to go that far back? I'm like, his recent thing is what I'm going by, his most recent stuff. He goes, I'm telling you, he fits this scheme to a T. Well, I went back. I looked at it. I was like, yo, okay, he might have a chance. But it wasn't until I actually saw him out there and I said, yo, they tried to pick on him in game 1, and he was on his best Dikembe Mutombo, letting them know, not in my house, not today. And I'm saying to myself, man, this dude's getting better. Then I turned around, they get to the Chargers. They torched the crap out of Darius Slay. But guess who they couldn't beat up on? Rashawn Melvin. I said, okay, this might be a dummy thing. They go against the Eagles. I say, all right, he gonna have some problems. He did his thing. And yeah, there were some drop passes in there. But guess what? We had those same misfortunes before too. At the end of the day, that man is one of the guys that truly threw me off, and I could not believe for one moment that he is playing the way he's playing.
Yeah, man, Rashawn Melvin is balling out. No one expected it. I said we would have a great secondary. I felt like it was going to blow up. I felt Rashawn Melvin would do well, but I didn't expect him to be this well. I mean, he's blown out of the water. He's definitely underpaid, and I love the fact that we got him from the Raiders, and the Raiders got Nevin Lawson from us. J-Mo, what
real
player?
quick. Hold on, real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
My apologies for interjecting. Buffed up. I'm gonna get ready to put you on timeout because I'm gonna tell you why. When the Lions win, you still negative. They lose, you negative. they can go out and literally pick up the top 10 baddest females on this planet. You're going to be negative. At some point, it no longer becomes you're watching football as it is you're just being a hater. I'm going to need you to show me that that's not the case. Give credit where credit is due. The Lions had every chance to win that game. They had every opportunity to win the game. And when they win the game, I want to see you have that same love. If you can hit me with the same statements of, oh, well, they lost and that's the bottom line. Where was that same statement at when they won? Because all I heard was negativity.
Mm-hmm. That's facts. Absolutely. J-Mo, go ahead.
Justin Coleman is an honorable mention. And I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I actually have been a little bit more surprised because I didn't know he was going to be this good this early. But Tracy Walker, the guy I picked to be the breakout defensive player on the team. Tracy Walker isn't just like a good safety. He might be a great safety. I was talking to General G. Barry. Shout out to the General View. You see him in the comments. I'm talking to people. I'm like, bro, you crazy if you got to get me to believe that Tracy Walker can cover Travis Kelce one-on-one. I'm like, bro, stop talking to me, dog. I'm like, it's impossible. This guy's the best tight end in the league. What did I see? Tracy Walker covering Travis Kelce one-on-one and not getting cooked. I'm like, this can't be real. And see, I remember Luke said this earlier. A lot of those plays for Kelce, they schemed him open so he could get the ball. It wasn't because of bad coverage. Tracy Walker did really good on Kelce. He did really good on Ertz. Had an interception in the first game, was really good. I mean, he might be the leader in tackles. He can play in the box. He can play deep. He's good in coverage. I really, really like how Tracy Walker has been playing. He's been playing like a great safety. If him and, guys like I've never felt this in my life with the Detroit Lions secondary. We could have 4 Pro Bowl players in the secondary. I'm talking Slade, Coleman, Melvin, and Walker. If we keep playing like this. So I'm just feeling really, really proud of our guys, man.
Absolutely, man. They're playing out of their world, to a different level, out of the world here. My player that I didn't expect to have so much success is Ashawn Robinson. Man, he's playing right now is probably the best defensive lineman on the team. Obviously, we haven't seen a whole lot from Mike Daniels because of the injury. And this guy, it seems like he came out of nowhere. He's blocking passes. He's disrupting offensive lines. He's tackling. He's stopping the run. The best visibility. I felt like Snacks was going to have a great year, but he's having a down year, and Ashawn Robinson's having the up year. He's picking up the slack, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm so happy for that. He's a draft pick. Bob Quinn took him, and he's panning out. We thought last year he started off slow. And he started to pick it up, but right now he's playing on a different level. He is definitely disrupting, and it will be a sight to see when we can get Deshaun Hand in there and have him with Ashawn Robinson. Oh, man, that's going to be some nice. Go ahead, J-Mo.
No, I'm agreeing with you, man.
Yeah, man, and so I'm very happy with how his progression is. Now let's take it to a different side note here. Let's go a little bit negative. Luke G, what player is having a underperformance compared to what you thought they were going to do?
Snacks Harris. It's not even questionable. Mm-hmm. It's not even questionable. I'm not seeing that same Dominic getting off of the 2 double teams and splitting them in. I'm not seeing all that. I'm not seeing him get the push that I was used to seeing in that first year. It's almost like he got that contract and lost his mind. Now I'm not knocking him. I think he knows that he needs to improve. I think he knows that he needs to be better. But Snacks Harrison, in my opinion, has to be able to do a little bit more. Now, don't get me wrong. Ashawn benefits from Snacks being out there. He benefits heavily for him being out there. But when I go through and I look at it, it has to be Snacks Harrison. And if I were to go on the offensive side of the ball, and I know people gonna think I'm crazy about this, but it's Frank Ragnow. If I see one more person come clean up the middle, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I don't understand how this keeps happening. And when you're getting unnecessary penalties on a hard snap, how do you, the center, forget that? Mm-hmm. I don't know how that happens. You're the center. You have first control of the ball before it gets to anybody else's hands. It goes from the referee's hands to your hands, and you forgot the hard snap. Those little things were the two people that I would call out to do it. But before we go any further, we got 84 people in the chat, 74 likes. Can we get to 84 people? It's only 10 more likes and thumbs up. Let's get there, ladies and gentlemen. I know you can do it. Let's get this video in circulation and get those likes up.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's what we do to defeat the legacy media. Get those likes up, do those comments. It will make it get spread out due to the algorithm via YouTube. JMO, who is the underperformer on this team so far?
First, I want to read this interesting comment. Can anyone listen? Says Lions tied in Arizona felt like a loss, but the Lions lost to KC feels like a win. No other team will perform play for play as well as Detroit performed against Kansas City this year. Well, I agree with you. Maybe the Patriots. We'll see what they do. But I would say I don't want to pick on Snacks, but Snacks. And like I'll give you a player for the offense too. Y'all might be a little bit surprised, but it's Snacks. I mean, everyone has been good. I mean, Trey Flowers was not good in the first game, and that's it. Every other game, he's had an impact. So he's just not getting the sacks that you guys want. But I mean, against the Eagles, he was a problem, especially early on in the game, like the first half. Against the Chiefs, he definitely was a problem. So they've been doing well. Ashawn has been doing well. Okawara is his same self. He's not doing anything that I don't want him to do. He's still pushing the pocket, causing pressure. He could probably get some more sacks, but it's Snacks, man. And my main reason isn't even what you think. It's because Ashawn is the one getting double teamed now. It ain't even you. You got one.
No, he getting double teamed. I'm not gonna say that, J-Mo. I'm not. He's getting double teamed. I'm not gonna say
Ashawn get double teamed a lot too.
Ashawn is getting double teamed. The attention on him now because he's.
Hello?
Well,
Luke, you there? Okay, so looks like Luke.
Yeah, I saw him getting a lot of one-on-ones, and I'm just like, you got to do better.
Real,
and
he's been getting double teamed.
Our run defense has been subpar, and he's supposed to be the main player on the team that stops the run. So we're not supposed to be getting gashed for these 30-yard runs and stuff like that. So, but the other player on offense has been Jesse James. He had a couple nice catches, but it seemed like every time he make a play, he get hurt or he get banged up or he just like disappear somehow. Like he made that catch against the Eagles and didn't even look like he got injured, but he just was like hurt. And then like Jesse James
either.
Yeah, Jesse James has been non-existent, and I'm not gonna blame him for him. I agree with what Luke said. We were wondering coming into the season with all these weapons, who's gonna get the short end of the stick, and we thought it would be Danny Amendola, but it's Jesse James because you got Hockenson. You got Kenny G1, Marv 2, Hockenson 3, Amendola 4, and then Jesse James is 5th. And then you might get some Logan Thomas in there or some carry-on runs or something out the backfield. So he doesn't have as much opportunity, but it's been a little underwhelming. But he's been good at blocking. I've seen him say Stafford a lot.
Right.
So he's been good at blocking.
And one of the reasons that you're seeing that happen is they're not scheming it for him like that because he's not as athletic as TJ Hockenson as Thomas is. Thomas, when you look at Thomas and when they run their routes, they can turn and immediately keep running. Jesse gets the ball and he got to gather himself to keep the momentum going. But he gives him a big target and an easy out. It's just that they're not scheming it for him as much unless they're running those 2 tight end sets. And then when they use the 2 tight end sets, they're not giving him that medium route. They're giving him that short route underneath. And the first thing the linebacker do is jump on it. So it opens it up over the top. But I do understand your view on it. Make no mistake about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a little curveball here and say, even though we drafted him in the 6th round, and you don't expect a lot from a 6th round pick, but I thought Ty Johnson so far would be doing a lot better right now. I mean, they got rid of C.J. Anderson. We assumed he would be the second back and have that Johnson & Johnson show. But for whatever reason, he's not getting the looks, the touches. Like McKissick is getting more than him. I did not expect that. And with him, our assumption was he was going to take that secondary role, and he hasn't. We haven't really seen a whole lot from Ty Johnson, and he's got so much speed. You just feel like they could utilize him some way, whether it be a jet sweep, whether it be simply doing a quick screen pass just to gain a couple yards, but we haven't seen a whole lot of that from Ty Johnson. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure again
Yeah.
if that's
Scheme.
on him or the coaches.
No, it's scheme.
No,
It's
no,
scheme.
it's McKissick knows this offense a little bit better. He's just a rookie, and Ty Johnson, I feel like he can definitely run the football. He's had 6 yards per carry in 2 separate games, but
True.
he has a little bit of the theoretic effect. It's like people expect us to throw the ball a little bit more with him, even if he's running well when he comes out there, because I've seen us give him those 3 opportunities, and I've seen the defender sniff it out right away.
Right.
JD McKissick
Right.
is a little bit more confusing. We call those trick plays. I'll never forget. It was some big pass play. We called a trick play with JD, but it was a fake, and then we threw a pass. We can do that with him. So I just think it's about
one of the things
opportunity.
with
Like,
JD is he's
we
a
got so
receiver
many
and running back.
weapons.
You know, he
Yeah,
plays
he's a
both.
receiver too.
So he plays receiver and running back. So that it makes it hard for you to figure out what's going on. And one of the things that I love when they got rid of theoretic, because I kept telling everybody he a tail. And then after I kept telling you, Jamal Adams told you, yeah, he a tail. He a child back. When he's back there, he's not running it. He's getting out the backfield for a pass. So those little things is what you're seeing with him, Mike, is they're not scheming it in the way for him to get that ball as much because they're trying to throw the other team off. So sometimes they may come out and say, we're going to run it down your throat right in your face. Well, that's what they did with the Eagles, and that's what they did with the Chargers. They tried to run it down their throat, and they were putting different people in. But one of the reasons that they moved on from CJ Anderson was in the passing game, he wasn't getting it done. In the blocking game, he wasn't getting it done. There was 3 plays in the Chiefs game where Kerryon was back there, and I'm like, if he don't get that block, Stafford is dead. Like,
Man, Kerryon been blocking great since his rookie year.
I know, but I'm just saying it's one of the things where the scheme, you got to remember what Matt Patricia, Darrell Bevel, and Bob Quinn all said. The game plan would be determined by a week-by-week basis. Some people may be on and some people may not be on, and that's what you're seeing. It's going to be a week where Ty Johnson gets his chance to shine, and that could be against Green Bay.
Yeah, it's just going to be against a team who weakness is covering the running back out the backfield. And remember, he's like the 7th weapon on the depth chart. Like, we have so many weapons. That's why one game Galladay is going crazy. One game is Marvin Jones, and then another game is somebody else. He's like the 7th player on the depth chart. So he's only going to get limited amount of touches unless he has like big success. I mean, JD McKissick got one run in Philly, and that was it. So, but it was a big run. So it's just a limited opportunity for everyone. You got so many weapons on offense.
Yeah, and listen, I tell people all the time, all I kept hearing about is how Andrew Luck make everybody so much better. They're still scheming plays to Eric Ebron, and he dropping them.
You just talked about a couple sentences ago about throwing, and it reminded me of a play that did not take course, and it was questionable by a lot of people. In the game versus the Kansas City Chiefs, there was a situation where Kerryon Johnson got in the end zone, and that was not considered pass interference. Luke G., should Coach Patricia have called a flag on that key play?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's one of those questions that I did a video about. The video is out right now, so make sure you go and check it out, where I actually show you why he shouldn't have called a challenge on it. The problem is this: the NFL is in a unusual situation. They don't want to pee off fans, and they want to give teams a reason to feel like they have control over it. But go and look at the players interference calls that they have been challenged. I think only 3 have won. And out of the 3 that won, one of them went against the team who challenged. But they won it, which is weird. So they're not consistently calling the pass interference on challenges right. If they do that, we don't even have a timeout for that last Hail Mary down the stretch. So we needed to look at it from a different perspective. The one mistake he made was challenging that run where it was short. I'm like, it's in the first quarter, it's 3rd and 1. If you didn't get it, line back up and hit him in the mouth. But that was the worst call by Patricia. But this second one, if he never called that first one, he would have probably called it on this one and risked the timeout. But in this situation, it did not make sense for him to do that. Now, we have 90 people in the chat. 80 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. Let's see if we can push this thing to get us 90 thumbs up. And if you have already given us a thumbs up, give me some thumbs up in the chat. We truly appreciate you.
Absolutely. J-Mo, the same question to you. Should he have thrown the flag?
Of course not, man. It was a bang bang play. And one thing about these plays is they don't overturn the call on the field very, very often. And like Luke was saying with the first challenge, now he's in a position to not risk the timeouts in a game where timeouts is coming at a premium and you're gonna need them. But we needed every single timeout to have a chance. I still believe, a lot of people believe if TJ Hawkinson was out there healthy, he could have called one of those balls. And we know it was pass interferences they didn't call in the end zone anyway. So I don't see any reason to challenge that. Not at we had momentum a little bit. We were driving, so I don't see a reason to challenge that. Not at that point in time where timeouts is something that you're gonna need just in case that
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose that timeout. Specifically, again, you want all 3 at the end of the game. You lose the call, you lose a timeout, and it kills you. And you never know. There could be a big play that happens between then and the end of the game that then you would waffle, should I throw the flag because we'll be completely out? And so I think you do have to take that into effect as a head coach. When you throw that flag, you damn near need to be making sure it's 100% correct, because if you lose it, it can hurt it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
And the crazy part about it is this, it's one of the reasons why I did give the grade to Matt Patricia, because I thought that was a dumb challenge. It was way too early in the game for you to be trying to challenge it, because that first down wasn't going to do anything for you. You were still on your side of the 50. So that didn't help you out at all. It just didn't. And so to me, I just looked at it and I said, taking that challenge right there, let's put it this way. They used the Dallas Cowboy game against the Detroit Lions in the playoffs as the example of what would be a flag. The exact same thing happened with a dude with bifocals on, and he still didn't see it. And you think that NFL is going to come out there and be like, yeah, we messed up. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Absolutely. Folks, this is your time now to ask us questions. You can go ahead and send a question to each of us individually, as a group. Any type of question you got, go ahead and ask it. Is your time. We love giving you guys time to ask us a question, and it gets us to look at a different perspective and give us an idea of something to talk about that we may have missed that's important. And that's what we love, the chat, because without the chat, we're going nowhere. You guys come up with some great ideas, so we would love to answer any question that you have. So go ahead and start putting that in the comments, and we will get to it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
One of the things that I seen was a comment from Ron the Truth, who says Vegas get the final call. I'm gonna tell you how serious it was. Go and look at the point spreads this past weekend on most of those games. None of them were met. I mean, it was like every last. From baseball all the way to most of the top games, none of the point spreads were met. Vegas made so much money. I'm talking about they would sit up there just fat in money. Picture Vegas as a human being, and he Scrooge McDuck diving in and out of gold coins. That's what it happened. They was not going to be willing to take that risk. So I see we got some questions popping up. Like, can anyone listen? He says, when will the Lions get their first loss after the bye week? That's a really good question.
I'm gonna say it ain't no first loss. What you thought? Chicago in Chicago. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, they got a great defense over there. This question is for you, Luke. Green Bay versus Lions. What's your score?
28-17 Detroit.
I got 45-17 Detroit.
I ain't going that far.
Man, all I'm saying, Lions been averaging 33 points a game the last 3 years. Our offense is even better. They about to get cooked.
Well, I look at it like this. When you're Green Bay's definitely going to come off of an emotional game with the Dallas Cowboys, but if they pull it out, because Dallas ain't been showing like they for real, if they pull it out, then what's going to happen is they're going to have a little confidence, and they, feeling they can do everything and they can see all things. I just think what's going to happen is Detroit is going to expose them using the tight ends, and they're going to expose them with the slot receiver. They don't have an answer for that. So I suspect that they would do it. In terms of like that first question with the games they first lost, I put it like this: the second quarter of games, I got them going 4-0.
Woo!
Yeah, I told you I don't know if we're gonna lose a game. I gotta believe it to see it.
Here's a good question.
And I'm not sounding delusional. It's just our team is that good, and we just had the toughest part of our schedule, and then the other tough games are at home. You actually think I'm picking against us at home? Nope, not this year.
Cole's got.
I know we just lost one at home,
man.
But,
Cole's got a good question that I'm going to go ahead and answer. It says, do you think Bob Quinn is the most underrated general manager in the NFL? And my answer is, hell yeah, he is.
Yeah.
This is why I'm doing this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
What they did in free agency, and I seen all the pickups, and then they weren't getting talked about. I'll never forget, I think it was the Redskins or someone picked up a no-name player after we just made a ton of moves with Flowers and Coleman, and they talked about this unnamed guy from the Redskins, and I said, to hell with this. I'm going to create my own damn YouTube channel, and I'm going to tell you how underrated Bob Quinn is, because he has put so much talent around this team. No one in the NFL world gives this guy any sort of credit. What he has done with this team and turned over the roster to make it a Patricia roster is phenomenal. Just killing it in the draft, picking up these late round picks and helping this team out, man. He's definitely underrated. I don't understand why no one can see what he's doing. It's mind-boggling. Because if any other general manager did this, say if the Green Bay Packers picked up all these players in free agency, do you think they would be talking the hell out of them like they're going to go to the Super Bowl and go 16-0? Hell yeah, they would. But when the Lions get it, they all of a sudden go from 6-10 to 0-12 in the first 12 games. Makes no sense to my opinion. And hell yeah, he is. Hell yeah.
And the worst part about it is this. If you just take into the added fact that it's the Lions, right? Because this is the thing that people want to say. It's the Lions. It's what the Lions do. I saw from the very moment he got here what he was doing, even when I didn't agree with it. I saw it from the very moment. When he took Tease, I wasn't mad about it because I was like, Tease got versatility to play safety. They never let him play it, but okay. The only pick he ever made that threw me off was a long snapper, and I'm still trying to figure that one out. Like, what happened? A long snapper? That's what you came up with?
Yeah, I feel like Bob Quinn he's gotten Matthew Stafford an offensive line for the most part when it comes to pass protection. He got him a defense, he got him some receivers, and he got him a coach that's good enough in his field, which is defense, because I'm not going to judge Matt Patricia for the offense. He has nothing to do with the offense. That's all Darrell Bevell and Matthew Stafford. So he got Matthew Stafford an O-line, man. Man.
And listen, it's not even that he got him an O-line. It's that he got the right people in position to play the right O-line shuffle to give him protection. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Right.
He gave him the right protection. Now, Big Perm 079 says, hit that DSA like button. Absolutely. We got 90 in the chat. So let's get that thing up to 90. We got 86 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. Let's hit 90 people. I know you can do it. The community of Detroit Lions fans and the DSA is growing piece by piece. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the members of the DSA, okay? The information is linked in every video. If you don't see it in this video right now, it's probably going to be there afterwards. Or just go to any other video. I promise you it's there. And subscribe. You don't want to miss it. Now, we got 91. Can we get 90? Well, 93. Can we get to 93 likes? Get those likes up, people, so we can get this thing going.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they definitely got Bob Quinn overrated, man. Underrated. They don't have this man no love. And the job even me.
Oh no, he gonna get that love when we get that chip. Watch.
Listen, but you know what he said though that kind of made me think he was telling the truth is he said that when he had Jim Caldwell, he had to draft for what the guy wanted. He said Jim Caldwell was the one cooking the meal, so he got the groceries. He said, but this way, he's more in tune with what's going on because it's the style that he used to doing. And there's a very, very vivid statement that he made that was clear to everyone, the fans, ownerships, coaches, everyone, when he said, this is the only losing season I ever had. And I'm not going to get used to it neither.
Mm-hmm. And the NFC North, there is a reckoning coming. This to JMO. Do y'all think the Lions are making the playoffs from Shannon K? Are we making the playoffs there, JMO?
We winning the division, so we're definitely making the playoffs by default. That's all I gotta say. We winning the division this year, so yeah, we definitely making the playoffs.
I agree with that. Yeah, you win a division, you win. It's that simple, and I think we win that division. Also, let me just thank everyone. We hit 96. We had 95 people in here. We hit 96. Appreciate you. If you have not hit that like button, make sure you do so. But we appreciate those who did and those who gave me my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thumbs up in the chat, man. You guys are out here killing it, and I'm loving it. Also, if you have not noticed, there's a little bitty name right there that says the General Review with a wrench on it. He is going to be the newest Detroit Lions YouTuber coming out. He is working on his materials and getting it together for you. Make sure you go and subscribe to him and show him some support. The General View is AKA General G. Berry. Show my man some love because he knows his football, and you want to make sure you're around people who know their football.
Same as well as Dr. Dirks. Go ahead and subscribe to his
Absolutely.
channel. It's very hard to start up from zero, and you put in a lot of work and you're not seeing the results you want to see. And it's simply because no one knows. But now you know, because I just told you, Dr. Dirks, make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's also a newer YouTuber for our Detroit Lions. Luke G, here's a question for you. Are the Lions playing to their strength on offense? Is Bevel play calling improving as the season move along?
Yeah, before we jump into that, hey, thank you, Mellow Mo, for the super chat. We're going to get to your questions. We will not forget you. Appreciate you for showing some love and support. But to answer this question, Mr. Whiten, yeah, they are playing to their strength. If you look at each game that they went up against, they played to the strength. I told people the Lions are going to run the ball because guess what the Kansas City Chiefs' weakness was? Running the ball. And I said once that happened, they were going to start to bring people up, and we need to kill them doing what? Over the top. What happened, people? We ran the ball. They came up. We killed them over the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. And then our own miscues killed us. However, I do believe that he improves as the season goes along. I think I had them at 19 to 21 for total offense when the season was all said and done. But I can tell you this much. They might prove me wrong on this one. I mean, they are up there with some of the highest scoring offenses. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Take a moment to think about that.
I told you, Luke, no way I could see them being that bad unless Stafford was playing bad.
Hey,
when
you right,
we had too many weapons, man.
When you right, you right. Yeah, I mean, so I can't argue with you on that, man.
JMO, since I just got a super chat from Melamo, first off, I truly appreciate it, man. This is great. I love it, man. Finally, when you get 1,000, you get a little things to open up and
he like money coming in.
The most important thing for me was getting that community post. That was the number one thing I wanted.
Absolutely.
Then I could give out the information more. It's great. So I'm going to make this into a question to you, JMO. Who would love it if the game Sunday was a Super Bowl preview? Let's change this. Do you believe this could be a Super Bowl preview?
Well, I said it earlier. If they can get over, like both teams have 2 humps to get over. They have to get over the Patriots hump. We got to get over the playoff hump. We get over those humps, we could easily meet in the Super Bowl. I think if we did meet again, I think we would win that game because I think we would have all of our pieces. I hope so. Guys like Deshaun Hand, we would have more. Of course, they would have Tyreek Hill back. But I'm not too scared about Tyreek Hill, to be honest with you. And I think we dial up the same game plan for Mahomes. Of course, we're not gonna be at home, but I don't have any problem with us playing in Miami either. I think it's gonna be a very close game, just like this one, and the score should literally be the same score but reversed or something like that. But I'm ready for all the smoke with Kansas City, man. That would be very interesting. If not, I would love to beat up on the Patriots, but
Absolutely. And I see Pride Time here has a question. It says, did y'all discuss the carry-on fumble and Galladay non-touchdown? Luke G, I know we have not talked about it. Also, JGB General View, I did do the freestyle. You just got to go to a couple round tables ago on my I think it was on my channel. Not actually, I'm not 100% sure.
It was on my channel.
Okay, it was on Luke G channel, and it was right after it got 1,000, so I did do that. But from Pride Time, Luke G, did y'all discuss this? I know we didn't, like I just said. What do you have to say about those plays?
I mean, the carry-on fumble was unusual. I can understand all the woulda, shoulda, couldas, and hindsight 2020 vision that everybody now have, like that third eye. But the truth is that was a bonehead play by Kerryon Johnson. We quick to point out what Stafford do, but that was even dumb. I mean, what was he reaching for? He wasn't nowhere near that line for it to break anyway. So he just needed to understand that at this point, you're in a pile of people. Hold on to the ball, because guess what? You get 3 more shots to get in. You don't need to do that. So it was ridiculous at best to see it. And he took full ownership of it. And I respect him for that, because he flat out said, nope, that's on me. It's my fault. I have to be better and making sure that I'm aware of my surroundings, and I'm aware of the situation, and I'm aware of the field of play. He took all that responsibility. So to me, he's good with me. In the case of the non-touchdown, I'm amazed at the people. I know 97.1 a ticket, because I saw it on YouTube where Mike Valenti said that he bobbled it. And I'm thinking, how many plays do you want me to show you where they called it a touchdown this year? That same exact catch. I thought it was a catch. I feel like it's a catch. The ball has a right to move, people. You know, they like when he bobbled it twice. Huh? No, sorry. Not buying that. I thought that was a ridiculous call, but guess what? They bounced back and they still got some points on the board for it. So we can't be too mad at it. But yeah, that was a terrible play. And you know, you look at what really cost this team the game. It's 2 red zone fumbles. One by Matthew Stafford trying to switch the ball in his hand. Just came out, which he took full blame for that. And the other one by Kerryon Johnson, which made no sense for you to stretch the ball out and knowing that your forward progress would stop. So, yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
JMO, One Pride 40 says, how many players are going off in Green Bay?
Everybody. I've been look, man. Y'all can get back me on this. I've been telling y'all this since the beginning of the year. We are going to kill this team. And looking at how they played against the Eagles, it didn't give me any less confidence. I think Kenny Golladay is definitely going to eat. They can't cover him. Marvin Jones is going to eat. TJ Hockenson is going to eat. Kerryon Johnson is going to eat. If Danny Amendola is back, he's going to eat. If Marvin Hall is there, Marvin Hall going to eat. I think this is, like I said, I think we're going to have a more complete game against Green Bay than we did against Kansas City. What we just do with Kansas City, 30 points shut down Mahomes. What you think going to happen to Aaron Rodgers and them boys? They're going to get 37 on it, might get 40 on it, and they're not going to score a lot of points. They not against this secondary. This is the one secondary in Lions history that I trust to hold back Aaron Rodgers, especially with their receivers being hurt. Devontae Adams, we don't know how serious his turf toe injury is. If it's serious enough for him to miss this game, they have no chance. Like, they're going to get drilled on national. Like I said, they're going to get embarrassed. Last time we played on Monday Night Football, we embarrassed them. It's going to happen. I'm telling y'all.
Absolutely. What is going on, Andrews Football? Welcome to the chat. This is the resident Kansas City Chiefs fan.
That's
and
right.
What I love about his take is he's very unbiased and a fan of Kansas City. He will actually tell you truth in that the Lions, man, they did a lot better than what Kansas City fans thought they would, and we appreciate his information and what he brings to Lions fans, looking at it through a different scope since we are fans and he is not. So appreciate that for sure. And we love it, man, because a lot of people don't understand. They'll just say these guys are Lions homers. Everything they say is just simply because they're fans, but he's not a Lions fan, and he was going in about how well the Lions played, and it's really nice. Absolutely really nice. Here's a question to you, to Luke G. Do we have an elite secondary?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy for this. I'm not ready to call them elite. Do we have a damn good group? Yes. Do we have a collective group? Absolutely. Are they playing some of the best football secondary wise? Yes. But elite means you just shut them down. We still giving up points. We still giving up yards. I can't give them the elite card just yet. But am I impressed with what they've done and what they're doing? I am absolutely 100 billion% impressed with what they've been doing. I couldn't have imagined this. One of our question marks this season was secondary and offensive line. They have answered those questions for me. So I'm not ready to give them the elite title yet, but they're damn good.
Okay,
I think they are.
Yeah, go ahead.
Elite, though. I think they are elite because to me it goes eye test and what the numbers say. Every numbers metric has us as the best secondary. The eye test has us as the best secondary, especially what we just did to Patrick Mahomes and what we did to Carson Wentz. I was hearing all this stuff about Green Bay secondary. We gave the Eagles problems without Slay, and we did the same thing. But when you go look at the numbers and then you look at the eye test, definitely Justin Coleman is the best slot corner in football.
I mean,
Rashawn Melvin
he has some good
is,
points, but we talking about elite, not being the best. Elite. That's different.
well, that's one elite player. Darius Slay is an elite player. Rashawn Melvin is playing like an elite player, and so is Tracy Walker.
I put it like this: if you were to go through and you look at some of the best cornerback tandems in the league, just look at some of the best cornerback tandems in the league over the history. You look at the people like the Talibs and the Harrises and they had so many of them. I mean, but when you go through and you look at it, they're not doing that. Darius Slay got torched in the Chargers game, and for all practical purposes, like I said, they're damn good. I'm just not ready to call them elite.
Yeah, you can have that prerogative. I'm gonna completely disagree. The number said,
I respect that.
Said Darius Slay 5 catches for 70 yards, no touchdown. I mean, the Lions have an 80.0% passer rating against them with completion percentage. Like I told you about us being the most sticky receivers. No players get open against the Lions. We just went against the best, fastest receiving core in the league, and they did nothing at all. We lost because of run game and turnovers without our pivotal pieces. But like I said, I think we got a lot of elite players in that secondary, 4 of them to be exact: Melvin, Walker, Coleman, and Darius Slay. And those, I ain't even mentioned Quandre Diggs and the rest of the boys.
Well, Kool-Aid and Cornbread said, well, if you want to crown them, then crown them.
I told people the secondary was elite 2 weeks ago, and they combated me, and we had these 2 performances. So I'm doubling down.
Listen, I respectfully agree to disagree with you, and I can respect that, man. I'm not knocking your belief on it. But when he asked Luke, I was like, listen, Luke ain't ready to say the elite. I ain't finna lie like that.
I feel if our D-line was playing how they supposed to be, they would look even better. Our D-line has been very underwhelming the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that part of it, but I also look at it, if we're talking about elite means you stand on your own. That's why they want 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey. He's elite. He can take away half the field. Our cornerbacks ain't doing that. I thought Slay could, but Keenan Allen showed me otherwise.
J-Mo.
I mean, that's an isolated game.
Jared Davis a bust.
Like what happened the game before? I mean, you going because Slay got cooked by a top 5 receiver.
Not just Slay. We was questioning Coleman at one point too throughout the season when he was getting cooked in that Cardinals game.
I would.
Okay.
They're not elite because they don't have Nevin Lawson.
Oh my Jesus, no. You know what? We got to put that on our ban list, ban words list, man. We can't be saying no Nevin Lawson. They can't say that.
J-Mo, this is from the general view. Is Jared Davis a bust?
Of course not. Jared Davis is one of the best players on our entire team. And all of you Lions fans that's hating on Jared Davis are complete freaking idiots. Don't know anything about football. And stop hating on this, man. He's the only Lions player ever with 100 sacks and 100 tackles and 6 sacks in the season. It's been a lot of players in Lions history, guys. So I'm not buying it at all. I think he's a great player, and I think he's only going to improve. That's what I think about Jared Davis.
Can anyone listen that's given me this question? It says, when will TJ Hawkinson be back? And when he returned, will he continue to hurdle the opposing players? I think TJ will be back against the Green Bay Packers. I truly do. After the concussion, he was in good spirits. I don't even think they he went to the hospital for it at all. I think that was the report going on there. So I think he'll be back for the Green Bay game. And when it comes to the hurdling, look, it's going to take some time because this is natural for him. He's been doing it since college. He hurdles. That's what he does. And he's got to learn to not do that. And it's going to take time because bad habits do not just end, right after you
that's
start.
true. But you remember when he did it in the preseason, and I was like, listen, I don't need that. I don't want to see it. Please stop with it, because he do it so much in this to a point where people are just going to start to look like they going low, but keep themselves just high enough to grab them like they do. I want to see more of what Logan Thomas did when he ran through the defender. I was like, yo, oh my dude, I guarantee you that dude smelled blood in his nose. Trust me, I know those hits and those moments where you smell blood in your nose. I've been knowing it since I was a kid. Trust me. All right. That was one of those moments he smelled that blood. Luke,
is Coleman making the Pro Bowl? And has he been watching the Rocky movies?
I put it this way. If Coleman make the Pro Bowl, it'd be an alternate. He's got to put more on film in the stat sheet for him to get that Pro Bowl nod, in my opinion. So I don't see him making that Pro Bowl just yet.
He gonna need 3 interceptions if he want to make it.
Yeah, the fumble is a good start though. You letting people get up.
He get 3 interceptions. He get 3 interceptions, and the Lions win the division. Oh, he'll make it, but he need those picks.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Yeah, man, he's definitely doing a lot of Rocky by punching those balls out. I love it. I think he doesn't simply because it's a popularity contest. We don't have the sexy names. We all know the same old routine. Lions players never go. Maybe one, maybe Mealback or someone else, but they always do us wrong when it comes to the Pro Bowl. And personally, I don't care because I don't even want any player to be in the Pro Bowl with the Lions because that means they're in the Super Bowl. So
now Tom Capone says it was Jared's fault on the 4th down play. Can you clarify what 4th down play you're referring to? Are you talking about that 4th and 8?
Where I think so, when they were playing man and he got that run in.
Yeah, but that wasn't his assignment. Jared Davis went to his assignment. He actually went to his assignment. The person who messed up was Christian Jones. The running back was supposed to be covered by Tracy Walker because he had killed Jason Garrett. Lord Jesus, he killed Jared Davis down. Man, listen, I'm reading and thinking at the same time. He killed Jared Davis down the field on one of those passes. So they put the safety on him, and Christian Jones was supposed to cover the middle of the field where he bails out and ran with the running back too. I can tell you this, anytime you see 2 players in the same spot, it's something wrong. You should never see that. Even with Travis Kelce, the one person was popping him every time he left the line of scrimmage and passing him off to the other while playing underneath and the other one play over the top. In this case, they both took off towards that running back. That was more on Christian Jones, not on was Calvin at the halftime ceremony? No, he was not. But yeah, I don't think that was Davis' fault on that 4th and 8.
Okay. Don Burr's got a good question. It's here's why didn't we play the fullback more in this game in the red zone? JMO, you love talking about Kerryon Johnson and why they don't utilize him in 3rd down as well as end zone. Can you explain to Don Burr the reasoning why the fullback is not doing
it? Getting too cute. I don't know why we don't like to go, power, one-on-one football. But first of all, he is a fullback, so I'm not expecting him to get all these amazing touches. To me, Nick Baldwin is mainly for blocking. But if we wanted to be a little bit different, we could try to get him some touches. And I remember it was the Eagles game where Stafford threw to T.J. Hockenson and he was out of bounds. Nick Baldwin ran a great route and was wide open. I was impressed. I'm gonna be honest with you. He does need more touches in a sense, but it's not that many that goes around. But Nick Baldwin could bring the fullback back because he can run routes. Apparently, he can catch out the backfield, and he can run the football. So we'll see what he does. But I just think we were focusing more on Kerryon and stuff like that. And I do think the offensive line has to get better blocking at the goal line. Like all year, I haven't seen Kerryon run through one big hole on the goal line to get to a touchdown. It's always him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest part is y'all got to keep understanding everything we do fits within the scheme. And the reason they didn't put the fullback in is because guess what? You come out in that big set with the fullback and they figure you're going to run it, right? That's what you want. But they wanted to create options. And the best way to create options is to create formations where you don't know if it's a run or it's a pass. That's why you didn't see the fullback as much. Now, I agree that they probably should have put him in and just said, forget if you know what we're doing. We run it down your throat. And this is why I tell people all the time, when you talk about domination is when a person know what you're going to do and you can't do nothing about it. Like, and I hate to do this, J. Mo, not a knock against you, but I hate to do this. Michigan knew Army was running the ball. They couldn't do nothing about it. That's how you dominate a team. The Lions sometimes need to just get out their own way and just say, you know what? This is how you're going to dominate. You know it's coming. Stop it. And they didn't. They wanted to kind of scheme it out in a way to keep it open for options where if Stafford wanted to throw, he can throw. If he want to run, he can run. And so that's why you didn't see the fullback down there as much. He didn't fit the game plan for what their weaknesses was this day. That's what that was.
Melamo says, how about that tight end depth, though? Man, great depth. Great depth. When you see TJ Hawkinson went down, Logan Thomas stepped in and did a great job in his place. What's so good about this depth is we have players, Jesse James, we got Logan Thomas, obviously TJ Hawkinson. This is a very great, very spectacular tight end depth, much better than years past. I think in years past, if we just had a TJ Hawkinson and we didn't have a Jesse James or a Logan Thomas, it would have hurt us. It definitely would have hurt us, in the separation from wide receivers would be a lot less, because these tight ends really do continue to make matchup issues for defenses. And thankfully we have that depth to continue to do that due to injury. For sure. So it's,
TJ Hawkinson has 146 passer rating when throwing to him. And if people don't know the context of that, 158 is a perfect passer rate. If you over 100, you're great. If you're even 97, 98, 99, you're a good passer rate. This dude passer rating when throwing to TJ Hawkinson is 146.6. That is ridiculous. And I'm very impressed with Logan Thomas, man. He came in. I remember Stafford talking about him in the preseason. He's a good receiver. He looks like, I think we should use him a little bit more, to be honest.
You know what? I'm gonna give Logan Thomas this credit. He a better blocker than I thought. It was a few plays where I was like, okay, this what we getting it? Okay. So I'll give him that. He was a better blocker than I thought overall. And TJ Hawkinson has had some drops, but those crucial downs, man, he gets it. Even the one that he caught in the back of the end zone, he ran that route perfectly and sat in it. And that's what you want to see. That's what we get. Now let me give y'all a quick nugget. Okay. Now, J-Mo, correct me if I'm right or wrong. Michigan play Iowa this week, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Iowa has a right tackle. He is on Luke G's Detroit Lions watch list. He fits the conference that they like to pick from. And this the same right tackle who knocked out one Mr. Beep, beep, beep Sweat. Okay? He was the one that kept him at bay and did it. I want you to take a close look at that game and watch that right tackle the entire time. And then while you're looking at him, keep a strong eye on the left guard as well. Those are two plays for you to watch that I had the Lions targeting heavily for this week.
I wanted to say one more thing about Hawkinson. With his drops, I think you got to get used to the NFL. You can't dominate as well as you did in college, and I think he's adjusting to that a bit. But once he adjusts completely, it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Caden says, wait till Amani Awaraway develops, man. That's when we'll have an elite secondary. Yeah, man, that'll be great. I mean, the depth there.
Amani Awaraway.
No, I'm reading what he said, though.
No, I'm telling him, don't do him like that.
Awaraway develops. So I can't wait to see that on his jersey. He'll probably go all the way to the front of his jersey with his name.
Want to hear a funny story? I got a friend, and he's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. And I told him, I said, man, I'm still mad that y'all jumped up there and got Gardner Minshew before we can pick him up, because he'd have been a good developmental guy for us to do some things. Now, I got a film study coming up soon. It's going to be one of my first film studies, and I'm going to bring out a few more after that. But he said to me, I would give you Nick Foles and Garden Minshew and Josh Allen right now for TJ Hawkinson. I said, what? Are you serious?
Wow.
He said, listen. He said, I think these are all good people on our team. He says, but what TJ Hawkinson brings is a veteran presence that you cannot overlook. He said, I watched them games, man. He said, they be treating this dude like he already on his way to the Hall of Fame. And I get it. I get it. I thought it was funny, but I get it.
No, you know what's funny though is most teams weren't just like, well, that's just the Arizona Cardinals. They was like, no, bro. That's like, I don't care if that's Arizona Cardinals. This dude is a problem because you would think they would be like, well, it was a trash team that he cooked. You know what I'm saying? They were like, nah, bro. He was picked 8th overall. I ain't taking no chances. And you saw what happened when Kansas City let him loose, started getting torched.
And hey, it's great, man. Tem says drugs. Big Perms 079 says hit that like button, man. Absolutely, man. Make sure you hit that like button so we can defeat the legacy media and get the video out there. Micro, do you have any confidence in Bevel's red zone play calling? Yes, I do. This is a new scheme, and what I've been seeing so far is through game 1 through game 4, as the offense has progressed. I thought they would take a bigger step last week or against Kansas City on Sunday, and they did. It's going to be a process, but it will get better as long as the players take in all the notes and they start to understand the feel of the scheme where it becomes natural instead of thinking. You'll definitely see better results in the red zone. They just need to make sure also to hold on to the ball when they're in the red zone. I think that's a big deal. I think we could have had more points. And I know Jamo was at the game. He said the knee was down. I wasn't at the game. I just seen what they showed there.
That knee was not down. I'm sorry.
Man, he was definitely down.
Listen, I got the all 22s.
I don't care what you got, man. You ain't the only person that agree with me, man. A lot of people think the whole freaking stadium thought he was down.
Yeah,
and then the ref came out with that.
The stadium thought he was down
BS.
because in those situations, most times they blow the whistle.
I'm talking about when they did the replay. Same thing with Galladay touchdown. We saw the replay. We like, that's a touchdown.
Listen, that's like asking a parent if his kid ugly. You know they're not gonna tell you the truth. Come on, man. You can't ask the fans to say his knee was down. No, it was not down. It wasn't. Show me the camera.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna have to disagree with the camera angle. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
I gotta see the camera angle because I got the all 22s and I have watched it over and over. He is laying on top of a defender. His knee cannot be down.
And with that, folks, we have been on for nearly 2 hours. It's getting to that time where we do our ending statements and continue to give you the great content you deserve. And so it's that time right now. Jamo, what do you got to say to the folks? Go ahead.
If you guys haven't seen my review on the Kansas City game, I had a lot to say about the NFL and the way things go. If you want to check that out, make sure you check that out on 313 Jamo and subscribe. If you haven't checked out Above the Rim, we started back our basketball talk. We had Detroit Drew on here earlier on. His channel is in a link in the description, so make sure you check out the first episode of Above the Rim. And bye week comes at a great time. I'm mad I have to wait like 13 days for another Lions football game, or 14 days, something like that. It's just I don't like it. But the bye weeks come at a great time. I'm very confident in Matt Patricia's ability to scheme up a plan, and everyone's just gonna get healthy and recharged. I think we're gonna come out firing on all cylinders in our next game.
Go ahead, Luke G, man. Tell your statements to the folks.
First of all, man, thank y'all so much, man. Y'all come up in full force. Y'all ready to rock. Y'all got good questions. I love when y'all challenge us to make sure that we on our A game. I realize when I come into this chat, I better have my gloves on because y'all not finna just let us come in here and say random stuff. And I love that about you guys. And I love that you guys show support to the DSA and all its members, man. That's awesome. Let me leave y'all with this good piece of advice. We always fear the darkness because we are unaware of what's ahead of us. But if you already took a moment to just accept that you know that whatever is ahead of you can never break you, you will never be in the dark. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please subscribe to the DSA and make sure
Folks,
you get those likes and thumbs up.
like I always say, I'm very humbled for you guys taking your time out of your day to listen to us talk football. We love it. DSA is not just us, it's you. You guys make the DSA. Without the chat, we are nothing, absolutely nothing. And it's very humbling. It's very humbling, and it gives us, we appreciate all the ideas you give us to continue to make our content better and continue to strive for perfection. And that's exactly what we want to do. And we love it. We really appreciate it. And with what our ideas are bringing out to the people out there, I got to give the greatest quote. You know, when you have great power, you must be responsible. And it's imperative, us being part of the DSA, that we give you, as best to our knowledge, unbiased attention and conclusions when it comes to the Detroit Lions. So with great power comes great responsibility. With that said, folks, adios.